Hey everybody, it's me, Remy the Comic Book Poser. I'm here today to welcome you to Enter the Poserverse. I'm tired as shit from running from my Whatnot auction upstairs to grab my webcam because I left my other one at school and my wife was borrowing this one because the batteries are dead on the dope camera that Mason gave me because I'm irresponsible. I'm out of breath. I'm tired, but it's Thursday and I'm excited. Thank you, everybody who came over to the Whatnot auction. I see David and Deadpool's in the chat. What's going on, Umpty? Happy belated birthday. You can check out on Instagram. I went and edited out all of the H's from the Humpty dance to make it the Umpty dance for his birthday. We got the Funko Brothers stopping by. We have Pop Tart Timmy. And right now the panel is just me. Jelly got called into work. Cole from Cole's Comic Claims is maybe going to slide in and hook up with us in a bit. We'll see if J1 makes it in tonight. But a couple of things. Number one, 2 minutes before the show started, I activated a giveaway on the Discord. So the link to the Discord is both in the description, and the spam bot will drop it if you're not part of it. But I'm going to give away 2 mini piles of indies that I have extras of to send out. Yeah, David, you got some good. That 12 center was beautiful. But those are giveaway 1 and 2 happening because I decided to do 2 winners for that one as a thank you. And then tonight we will do the poser pile giveaway. And if you have not commented yet on Tuesday's pull list video, then go do so. You've got 27 minutes because I'll try and do the giveaway at around 10 o'clock my time. And here's what you will win. And right now I'm 1 book short of what I want to send out. And you know these will come bagged and boarded. But you've got the Scotty Young Ghost Rider cover. And I actually kind of like Ghost Rider. I don't know if I'll talk about it tonight. I don't know if it's going to be in my top 5, but it was better than I thought it would be. Miles Morales Spider-Man number 35, a crossover into the Spider-Man Beyond stuff again. And there's, I think, 2 first appearances in this one. So people were like, there might be some low-key spec in that. So there might be some low-key spec in this. I haven't read it yet. The book that made me laugh during my pull list video because I wanted to know what Department of the Truth looked like on acid. You get it, and it's real good, and there's pepperoni nips in here. That's there. And then the book that was super hyped this week, there were a couple of people that I've commented back and forth with that Supermassive might not have been as good as Image wanted it to be to spawn 3 different books. If this takes off, this is a book worth having because you get the first appearance of 2 different characters in here that are getting their own spin-off series in the next month to 6 weeks. So like I said, normally I want to send out 5 books. So I'm going back to my LCS tomorrow because he's got a back issue sale that I'm going to go raid. But you've got, like I said, 26 minutes to do your thing. I'll bring on number 2, the glorious mustache, but it looks like he's fighting with his technology. So are you good? Yeah, I can't hear you. Just give me a thumbs up if you're good, and I'll give you a glorious intro. All right. So, making his first entrance onto Shop Talk, part of the championship triumvirate of season 1 of Comic Book This or That. I guess it wasn't a triumvirate because they never let Nick show up. He is doing his own thing with Cole's Comic Claims. He is the Tom Selleck of comics, not because he's sexy in a Hawaiian shirt, but he has a mustache that you want to ride. My good buddy from Michigan, who may have to dip because he is on daddy duty. He's on fart daddy duty. Give it up for my main man, Cole.
Hi, can you hear me? Can you not hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm not. These headset got really weird because I had them set to my phone too, and that was awkward. But I'm reading this book.
I haven't read that. Is that one of the ones that's tied into Black Hammer?
No, this has nothing to do with Black Hammer.
No.
This is like a kung fu epic
Oh.
with everybody. It's written and done by James Stokoe. Which, if you did you read the Clown Hunter? Like, there was a Clown Hunter backup story that he did the art for. That's fantastic. I mean, here, this is his
I
art
think I read
style.
one or two of them. I'll make it big so you can show it. Okay.
So he's got kind of this distinct. I mean, the cover alone kind of does it, but
No, that's
yeah,
pretty cool.
this has been on like crazy hiatus too. So
Nice. I'm looking forward to checking that out. Can I congratulate you on publicly for the information you gave me? What was it, yesterday?
I don't even know what information I gave you yesterday.
Fart Daddy got a promotion at work.
Oh, yeah.
He's moving up that food chain. They are finally putting some respect on that mustache. So
Yep,
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, it's technically not official yet, but some point in time.
Hopefully somebody at your office doesn't watch this stream, or they'll be like, that motherfucker.
If they do, it'll be weird anyway, so.
True. And like I said to everybody, as Cole was playing with his technology, he is on daddy duty. That he's got the night shift because Marshall is 3 months old now.
Yeah, he's 3.5. He'll be 4 months on the 4th.
So there you go. And Helvetic is a big fan of your name. So I know before you showed off what you were reading now, you said you had read one other book this week. Does it start with an S and end in Aga?
Yes, so at this point now, I have read 3.5 books.
All right, you want to tell these people about the goodness of Saga 56, and I'll chime in on the back end.
Yeah, so let me get the cover just so I can show people, even though they probably know what it already looks like.
I was gonna say I can look for it too. There you go.
And now I might have a fussy baby, so I might have to leave for a second.
Okay. Well, I'll talk about Saga for a second, and I'll highlight what Deadpool's pulled up. So Deadpool's is just dealing with one kick in the nuts after the other. He just lost his brother. So he's got some mystery boxes up on his Instagram. You should be able to drop the link to that too, Deadpool's, and I'll probably pick one or two up here afterwards after I pay Sold Twice because I owe him for a waffle and my Whatnot money finishes transferring over. But we'll talk Saga in a second. And I did pull 2 copies of Saga. And while Cole is dealing with Marshall, I was going to get one to put in the poser pile, but I'll do this live because it's going to hurt. I don't want to do it. But
you know that you can just like write that out. Like,
but if you read the last ending of the letter, it said he wants you to pull it out, and it hurts, but there's a reader survey in there because, right, the world shut down when Saga went on hiatus, and he's like, hey, what the hell is going on? More people are reading this than before. So it's a reader survey. And at the end, it says, like, you can type it up, but there's a spot where it says that if you send it with this, you get entered to win something because he believes comics should be read and out, not to be slabbed in plastic like fucking Han Solo in carbonite.
Well, I guess then I'll have to go back and buy a copy so I can rip it out and send it in.
Yep, Shudder's right. I don't like Saga. Like it made me a little queasy in the stomach at the thought of buying that, and then I told the owner at my LCS this was the last one that was left on the new issue stack, and I was like, I'm literally buying this to tear out the last page, and he was like, fucking why? It's like, because you can get something from the almighty prize drawer.
I mean, it'd be crazy if this was a like wild like I don't there's not really anything in this that would make this a spec book or a key later on, but it would be crazy if this was like, in that Poison Ivy, the big thing is the middle frame was a poster. So people ripped it, like kids just took it out and
Yeah,
hung it on their wall. Like that's like I don't know, like the one that I got is a piece of trash and it's also missing that poster, but I paid $66 for a book that normally the lowest you can get it for is 100. So
nice. Well, now I'll make you biggie size while you're bouncing a fussy baby, and now you can awkwardly talk about Saga.
so the
Oh,
guys
this wouldn't be as weird as talking about the last issue where you're like, and then she grabbed the Will's penis.
Yeah. So the last week or the last time Saga came out, we were talking about it, me and the guy that works at our shop, one of them. And it's like, yeah, Saga's that book that has like boobs and sex. And it's like, I feel like this hiatus issue, they had to like bring those two things in. This one does not have either of those stuff. But like, yeah, there is some weird stuff where it gets kind of edgy. I think Saga has always been kind of edgy, but I think the hiatus for this makes it seem kind of weird, but it's back and it's crazy. And I don't know what's going to happen in the next issue, and I'm very scared.
Yeah. I did kind of like the theme of this issue where it was, everybody is dealing with their own way of mourning. Like in the previous issue, it focused on kind of Hazel dealing with kind of rebelling from her mother a little bit. This one, we get the robot royalty kind of reacting to the death of Prince Robot in the first arc. And I don't feel like showing the last page of this spoils anything. But if you haven't read it and you want to know how edgy this issue gets and how much BKV is like, oh, I'm going to fucking challenge you right now, cancel culture. You see, this is one of the pirates, and it says, oops, probably should have included a trigger warning, huh? It's like, you said some shit
That a lot of people might not like. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, it's not.
I did like getting to see somebody else use the magic that really we only saw from Alana in the first. I like kind of the idea of what they're smuggling, that I think it looked kind of interesting in knowing what the item was that the pirates were interested in. But do you think this was as good as the last one? Do you think, because I know there were a lot of people who were like, yeah, Saga 55 is my pick of the week because Saga's back in 3 years.
I mean, this is probably going to be, I mean, yeah, it wasn't as good as the last issue, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't good.
Nah, I agree with that.
I enjoyed it. Like, I mean, it's still a good issue. I mean, the last issue was so good, and it was the first one being back. So who knows if it was as good as it was, or we just assumed it was that good because we missed it for so long.
Yeah,
And
if it
now
was
we've,
absence makes the heart grow fonder thing.
yeah, and now that we've read 2 in a row, does like, hey, this is real now.
That's fair. Well, and I said I wasn't going to talk about this book very much, but I will show it really fast because Cole was talking about the fold-out poster from Batman, 181. So here is Supermassive.
Oh,
And,
that's pretty sweet.
Marvel has been doing some fold-out covers, but they've all been ads. So this one gives you that 90s throwback feeling of seeing Radiant Black, Rogue Sun, and Inferno Girl Red all transition into their superhero forms. And the other thing that we've talked about with Radiant Black as it's popped up is people have been like, I don't know if this is for me because it just feels like a Power Rangers knockoff. And I've been like, yeah, it played with some different things from Power Rangers, but I really feel like where we get that connection hardcore to Power Rangers is Ryan Parrott was one of the authors on this, and he's writing, it's either the Blacks or the whatever, this Rogue Sun, or he's writing the Fire Girl Red trade.
Yeah, one of them. But I mean, Kyle Higgins also wrote Power Rangers. He wrote the first arc of Power Rangers, like that whole Green Ranger stuff. Because I remember I went on Legion of Comics channel, and they all said they were talking about the new Power Rangers, and I was like, should I even read either of these? They're like, you should go back and you should write the Kyle Higgins stuff. So I've read like the first 2 trades, and it's kind of like the Green Ranger stuff.
Because I started right after Shattered Grid, I think. So that might be right after Higgins's run. Shattered Grid might have been the last part of that.
Well, Shattered Grid was only like a few. Was that?
It was in the mid 30s of.
Oh, okay, then maybe not. Yeah,
the last arc before they divided it. The very first thing that I read this week after Saga, and it surprised me because you all know I don't read a lot of DC, and the DC book that I care about the most came out this week, Blue and Gold, and I didn't read that first. My first read was Catwoman 39 and 40, and I literally only picked it up because, I paid attention to Bruce from Bruce and Stephanie Comics. That
specifically said, this is one of my picks of the week, but I haven't read it. I just like covers. And you're like, that means I should read it, and it's probably good because Bruce said so.
Yep. And I posted it with a beer. I'm a sucker for a good Jenny Frison cover, and that's the cover to 40. And it's interesting because in 39, this is the first time that Selena has showed back up in Gotham. Why was she gone? I don't know.
You want to know why?
Sure.
Okay, so after they didn't get married, she went to Alleytown.
Oh.
Which Alleytown is kind of like her city where she has all these orphans. So there was a whole thing. Well, there was a whole thing with that. And then when Ram V came over, there was like this orphan thing. I don't know. I dropped it at some point during Ram V's run because I just got so behind. And I don't know. I didn't like it as much as Joel Jones's run. A lot of people will probably disagree with me on that statement, but I like Joel Jones. So that's why. She left because they didn't get married and she had to do her own thing.
That makes sense. What really drives the story in issue number 39, you see this guy show up that she starts kind of fighting with. And initially I was like, that looks like Ghostmaker. That has to be Ghostmaker. They screwed up using Ghostmaker. And it's not. It's some French dude who's just kind of screwing with her that you don't really know what his MO is, that he gives her a cat. She fights Roman Sionis, so what, Black Skull or whatever that he is. I don't know. And it ends with him going, I know you said you don't want gifts, but you were too busy saving these women at a gentleman's club. Here's some weapons from it. And in issue number 40, the one that came out this week, you're starting to get a little bit more, like, I like how it is. Oh, Black Mask. There you go. Not Black Skull. Although he's wearing a black skull. So they should call him Black Skull because, Marvel has a red skull. But what is showing up here is she is finding ways to kind of still tease members of the crime family, but we learn a lot more about the not Ghostmaker who shows up and is kind of pushing her to do some different things. So now, see, I thought Alleytown was a place that was like a district of Gotham until Cole educated me. So like she's talking about how she successfully cleaned out Alleytown and was now coming to get their influence out of Gotham. And it was just something that was really intriguing to me. Uh, if you are someone who doesn't like, like a Tom Taylor, like 9 to 12 panel per page, then some of this might be kind of rough just because, in the midst of the action, there is a lot of crowded dialogue that there were some sections that I had to go back and read 2 or 3 times. But I liked it. So for Bruce going, this is one of my books that you should get. I like it, but I haven't read it yet. I was intrigued by it, especially because Tinny Howard is writing it, who I think they are an exceptional writer. So I'm gonna pick up a couple of more issues of Catwoman, and because like I said on Instagram, I picked it up, and my LCS owner was like, "Why are you buying these books? Are you giving these away too?" And I went, "No, somebody said I should read Catwoman because it has a good cover." And I said, "Okay." And he was like, 39 was good. So Bruce is right.
Bruce's, I've actually never read this, but I like the cover.
Yeah.
Was right that it was a good read.
I need to go back and see what he thought about King of Spies #3, because King of Spies #3 was one of his top anticipated books from last week, and he's like, I haven't read issue #1 or 2, but there's somebody with no legs tethered to somebody with no arms, and it is a wild cover. And it was good.
What was the title of this stream called again?
Sell a story.
All right, I'm gonna sell a story right now.
Okay.
Because this book, I guarantee you haven't read it. Well, you might have. I don't know.
So for those of you who are just chiming in or didn't look at the tagline to the stream, I had this idea today in terms of sell a story that, J1 Jelly and I and AM and KM, when they are around, we tend to talk about books in fairly similar ways, right? That if you looked at the way that we talked about the end of Primordial last week, we all felt the same about it for slightly different reasons. The same thing was true with Ma, that there were books that, like, I thought I would be the only person of the three of us to read Ma, and they were intrigued by it. So I came up with this idea of sell a story, of trying to get somebody on the panel to read a suggestion and review the book for next week. So I'll let you go, Cole, and then I'm going to pick 2 things because I know what I want to do, but I think you might have read one of them.
So Deadly Class 51, this came out today. So I'm going to show you one panel in here that really has nothing to do with it. But if you haven't read Deadly Class, right?
I think I may have read one issue, but no.
So here is the second page of this issue.
2005. Oh, George W. Bush doesn't care about black people.
So loosely, the description of this book is Assassination High School, right? So you get these kids that are all trying to learn in this high school to become assassins. We're on issue 51. So we are now dealing with the main character, whose name is Marcus, is now apparently the world's greatest assassin. So it's kind of dealing with him. It started in the 80s, and now it's been jumping between the 90s and 2000s, like current day. And it's just showing how he becomes this greatest assassin. It's on its final arc, so you'll eventually be able to read it in a collective. But like, the art in this is fantastic, and the colors are really what, like, the best part about this book is the colors, just because as you switch between like panels, you'll just kind of see, like, here they're like all these like yellows and reds or whatever. But then here, like, they'll just take like a certain color and it'll be the main color of these like panels. I don't want to go into too much stuff that could spoil it, but even here it's like greens, so I don't know. This book has been fantastic. This was like the first thing I read right before quarantine happened. I checked out like 4 trades from the library, and then when it like came back, I was like, well, I might as well start pulling this book because that's that good. And I don't know, it's one of those books that I think is going to be collected in a long form, where like something like East of West or even Saga of that level of just great
Okay.
storytelling that continuously shows and changes as it goes. I mean, the one thing that's kind of funny too is like there's a lot of like inspiration from 80s music and stuff like this. There's this like saying in here, like he's talking about like Nirvana and like how much, I don't know, there's a part like in the early 90s where he just starts and he's ripping on Nirvana, and it was one of the funniest lines that I remember reading. But I
Nice. Who
think it's
writes
like
it?
it is Rick Remender.
Okay. So I can probably find, if you got them from your library, I can probably find them on Hoopla then.
Yeah, it's an image book, so I assume it's on Hoopla. And there's the hardcover. Here, I'll show you what the hardcovers look like too, because they're in the back of this. I've been meaning to buy them because they're pretty sweet looking too.
Oh, I have seen those in passing in the back of image books. I definitely will have to
And
get
these
on.
are like all the soft covers.
Ooh, those are pretty sexy looking.
Yeah, and like I don't know, the art is definitely not very like realistic per se, but it fits this good. And if you watch, there was a show actually on Sci-Fi.
Oh
The first
yeah, I
season,
remember that.
the first season was actually pretty toe like in hand with the actual first volume. The only thing that's like different is that the head dude looks like really old and fragile, where they had him like a younger guy. He looks like the guy in the TV show looks like the guy from A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance.
Oh, nice.
So I kind of thought that that was a weird crossover between these two books at first, just because I remember the TV show character and not the actual book character.
Fair.
But
No, I'm
they have
definitely
nothing to do with
excited.
each other,
I'm
minus
excited.
that they have the same author.
Have you read Safe Sex?
I have not.
Okay. So as Cole started showing that one off, I ran around trying to look for. I've got my indies spread out in 3 spots right now, either stuff that I know I'm going to constantly reread or is within like the last 6 months is in here with me. On my table out in the bigger basement, I've got the pile of things that I'm like processing into CLZ. And then in my storage room, I've got a shelf of like 20 short boxes. So Safe Sex is written by Tina Horn, and it is also an image book. And it is one of the first books that I started reading when I came back into comics, right? I think one of the reasons why I've been socialized into having a ridiculously massive pull list is because I started picking up everything to read. That I had been flirting with the idea of going back in to picking up comics for a while, that I almost started back when the new Infinity Watch came out, and you had the Wolverine Infinity Watch that was him with the gauntlet flipping you off with his claw. And, you know, for one reason or the other, I got scared out of going. But when House and Powers of X came out, that's what got me sold. And I just started kind of picking up everything. And Safe Sex was something that was interesting to me. So, Safe Sex is sort of dystopian, where, hey, Jellyfingers, hey, Deadpools, hey, Kevin from Entropy and Comics, and we got our first Russian bot of the night. It's a pseudo-dystopian future where married couples are forced by what's called the Purity Council in the government to have so many acts of sex per week. And it's just like lame, boring missionary sex. And everybody wears a Fitbit. So, like, your Fitbit tracks whether or not you have sex with your partner, et cetera, et cetera. Like, you can get punished for masturbation. You can get in trouble for doing all kinds of kinky shit. And then being queer, anywhere on that identity spectrum is fully outlawed. What you see is an uprising of people who used to be sex workers, basically reclaim their sex club that got shut down to challenge the purity and take them down. I like it because, while I'm a big does it track the number of thrusts, Spooky's Fitbit would be like, done. But for as much as like, I don't like a lot of sexy books, blah, 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 right? I like how it starts playing with the idea of sex for pleasure versus sex for love versus sex for lust. And I like that it's very like queer positive and all of that kind of stuff, right? That I very much wear my acceptance of everything, like literally in my background, right? I have a trans Black Lives Matter flag that is hanging. I'm literally wearing my Critical Role Pride shirt today. And I think as much as I talk about loving seeing different groups represented in comics, I work with a lot of students who are on various points of the queer spectrum and are in various stages of being able to share that kind of stuff with their families, or whether or not they can come out because, I'm in Kansas. So I like seeing those kinds of things that push the edge. And that got me introduced to Tina Horn, who that is how they write. That Tina Horn is no holds barred. You should follow Tina Horn on Twitter. And I have their Twitter handle memorized because it is genius. It is at Tina Horn's ass. And the other reason why I fell in love with it is the two things that happen in the back matter of every issue. The first is that there is an interview with a sex worker, right? And you can have the variety of your feelings on prostitution or, sex work, that I think there are a lot of people who are like, if prostitution is human trafficking, it is bad. If I want to have sex for money, right? And that's how I make my money. It's not necessarily exploitation if it's a choice, right? So there's interviews with sex workers that have had good and bad experiences. But the other thing that made me fall in love with this series was, you all know, if you've ever watched any of my interviews with authors, that I have a very cinematic brain, that as the story is playing out in my head, I start hearing music, right? And I would always ask creators, give me a 3 or 4 song playlist to jam to the issue. And before everybody else, like the Miranda brothers or the folks writing That Texas Blood had the QR code in the front of their book, you get to the last page and Tina Horn's like, okay, re-rack it, read it again, listen to this playlist. And it's a bunch of dope stuff from all over like it's musically schizophrenic. And I appreciate it that way. So there's not a TV show yet, although I bet you could find some kind of like porn equivalent of that. But it's either 10 or 12 issues. So I will see your 51 and lower you to 10 or 12, and we can talk about them next week.
Isn't that only in trades too? Because I thought volume 2 came out, and maybe somebody just released it when the volume came out, but I thought it came straight to trade for volume 2. Okay, then
it came out in singles. And because COVID delayed the end of the second arc, which I think the end of the arc might have come out the same time the trade, like the full trade for volume 2 did.
Okay. Did you ever read Royal City? You sold me the first issue.
Yeah, I was like, yes. And I think that's coming your way.
Yeah, because they have, in the back of that, Jeff Lemire put playlist. And that was like the first thing I ever saw with playlists. And I remember when I was reading it, I just tell my wife, like, I think you'd like this playlist of this comic I'm reading.
Well, and I like how it's commonplace now. And I like how, like, the Miranda brothers for We Live, like,
created one,
had music created. And it's like, okay, that's next level immersion, that you've literally built the soundscape to complement your artwork, and I need to go back. Our buddies Lost in Comics were interviewing
I
the
saw
Miranda
that.
brothers tonight, so
I didn't realize one of them doesn't speak English, so there was like he was talking and the other was translating in
is
the
it
interview.
Inaki that doesn't speak English?
I didn't remember the names.
I'll look at it, but
Yeah.
I'm excited because Age of the Palladians comes out, what, in 2 weeks?
Oh, yeah, by the way, they're making trading cards for that. Did I tell you that? I'll send you the code. I bought a pack of them from Gmart, even though
Oh, hell
I'm
yeah.
not even going to read it. I just thought it was funny that they have trading cards.
Look, if I drunkenly randomly bought, what was it? The
Playboy
Girl
cards?
Next Door Playboy cards from AMKM, then I will definitely buy some We Live trading cards. Oh, you're getting some tummy time on Daddy's chest.
Somebody's a cooing little baby. This is like his uptime, which is really weird, but well, that's not weird for him, but it's kind of weird, I think, in general, because our other daughter, she slept through the night. He likes to be up and hanging out with Dad and watching horror movies.
Nice. You got to raise him right.
Yeah. Oh, hey there.
All right. You can think about the other book that you want to talk about from this week. I'll talk about a book, and then we'll call it an early night, and maybe we'll do a impromptu movie night on the Discord. Maybe we'll pick one of Cole's bad suggestions to watch, like Mario Brothers, because I think I can do that pretty easily.
You want me to go?
Well, let's do the poser pile giveaway.
Okie dokie.
And then you can go. So if you have not commented on it, ironically, it just dropped the link one last time, but I'm gonna go ahead and screen share. Ooh, there are now different options. I can now stream from 2 cameras on StreamYards. This has changed since last week. Go you. All right. So I've got the random comment picker up. When we started the stream, we had 23 comments. We're still there, so I'll wait about 30 seconds. But remember, right now, the poser pile is Supermassive, number 1. Ghost Rider, number 1, the Scotty Young cover. Miles Morales, Spider-Man, number 35. And Department of Truth, the Acid issue.
Oh, you looking at it? Can you say hi?
Hey, buddy. Let's make you big. Say hi to everybody. Hi, Bubba.
He's like, who is that?
He's like, I see me and Daddy.
Yeah, I bought every one of those books except for Department of Truth.
It's wild.
I'm very behind, and I don't know if I really like Department of Truth.
You will like this one just for the art.
Oh, okay.
Because it's the LSD issue.
Is it still Martin Simmons?
This one was somebody else. Sampson. Allison Sampson. And I think she came on for just this issue because of her style. I think I read that in Tiny Onions newsletter. All right, here we go. I'm going to guess we're still at 23. Oh, now we're at 24. We picked up that extra entry. So here we go. Let's see if we now have 5 different winners. Oh, Tate! Tate's not here, but Tate might be the person who was the most excited about movie night going from a thing that we just talked about in passing to literally it became Jellyfingers set up a burner Discord account that he streams the movie from, and then we all either type shit in the chat or we will randomly chime in and Mystery Science Theater the film that we made little bits of fun during Captain America, but Toxic Avenger, we gave that its due. So I'm glad Tate got that. The sad thing is, I sent shit out today to Tate, I think. Oh, hi, bud.
Oh yeah, he's killing. But now he's got his passy, so I think he's good for a second.
Nice. All right, what's the other book you want to talk about?
Apache Delivery Service. Now you're probably thinking, Cole, that book came out like 2 weeks ago. You are correct, but my shop had it damaged, so I didn't get it until this week. And I really like this book. This is Matt Kent, this is Hillary Jenkins and Tyler Jenkins. And I'm really in for the ending of this issue was crazy. But like I love the part where he's talking in there and he's like, yeah, everyone calls me an Apache, but I'm actually a Navajo.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know, like it's just kind of funny. It's about this guy who just is it's in the middle of Vietnam and he's just going through, and then he ends up running into a dude in a cabin that's like, let's get some gold, and they're looking for gold. And I just love that his character isn't what you think his character is from the first issue in the second issue, but he still kind of is the best suited person to do this mission that they're going into.
Yeah, and I talked about that when it came out because my issue number 1 came in late.
I think everyone's did actually, because we got it late too. Dark Horse has been weird on delivering stuff. So no, this was what it was. So this is what happened. Dark Horse, oh excuse me, Diamond shipped it. Dark Horse came back and said, actually, that's supposed to come out next week, but half the shops released it. So if your shop follows rules, you got it late. But if your shop does not follow rules, you got it early. Because I know, like Tyler, like from Dank Comics, he got it, and it was just because his shop.
Because I was going to say, I remember somebody talking about it, and I was like, Jason didn't tell me that he didn't order it for me, so I don't know what happened. But I couldn't remember if he was an Apache and they called him Navajo, or the other way around. Then when I read it, I was like, oh, they call him, he's Navajo and they call him Apache. But yeah, that's a good book. And I talked about and reminded everybody, what's up, Oddball Comics? Oddball Comics dropped a video today that was a breakdown of who is Echo. You should go watch that video. I watched it.
That's in your somebody, you posted that on your Discord, right?
I think he did, and I'll drop they did. Okay. I'll drop the link here in a second, but Echo is going to be one of these characters that is a game changer, not just because we know that she's in
Hawkeye.
The end in Hawkeye, but we know that she's got her own Disney Plus series. Echo is somebody who I was like, ooh, this is a character I remember and like. Did not know that she was in the Hawkeye show. When she showed up in Hawkeye, I was like, ooh, I should go see. No, I'm not paying $700 for Marvel Knights number 11 for this, blah, blah, blah. Scott Sidwell Comics is in the house. Scott, I'm going to pay you in a little bit. I picked up
ASM 300.
No, I picked up from Scott last night on the first Madhouse auction. I think it was the Spidey sneaker cover.
Oh, those are sweet.
And I straight robbed him on that one. That I think I got that for $35. And then a set of 3 of Rain exclusives that are signed. And when that went up, I was like, yep, yes, I love this one. And I barely beat James to it. Remy, Robot Monster Island, and he was like, I got 2. So those, thank God I got another golden ticket this month, because those are, oh shit, I can't use that on signatures.
Well, just you can send it with your books.
Yeah.
Like, just, that's what I did. Like, I don't know, man, somebody posted on TikTok them opening it, and they said something. I was like, oh, that's sweet, you got a golden ticket. They're like, yeah, I don't even use those. I should probably give them away. So then I DM'd them and I was like, I'll take them if you don't want them. So somebody's sending me 2 golden tickets.
Nice. I lost my first one, and then
they were so tiny.
The saga of my second one.
Yeah.
but now I've got 2. So I'm figuring out what I want to send for me versus flipping.
I
I
think, yeah, I'm doing both whenever I send in, like
think
2 to
the
flip, because I put that Juggernaut that I got from you, because that's a pretty clean copy. I'm like, worst case, it's a 9.6,
yeah,
and it's like,
and
that version has not been graded. Like another book I
oh
sent
yeah,
in there is I don't know if there's a book called The Weekend Starboy.
mm-hmm.
Had 1 issue, because apparently the Weekend got sued over it. But
Yep,
I found a copy for $5 at my shop. I already had a copy, but I sent the better of the 2 in to get graded. It's
nice.
still probably maybe a 9, just because there's so much color rub on the cover.
Yeah,
Because that was a notoriously damaged book, but
mm-hmm.
it's never been graded by CBCS, only
Oh,
by CGC. So I looked at the census, didn't see one graded for that, so I was like, I'll send this in.
see,
Because
I could do that because the books that I have pulled aside that are like my strange ones that I don't care about grade or speed, I'm going to send to EGS to get some of the custom labels, and they're going to be all of my politicians books. Because instead
oh,
of like the border that your high school government teacher used to have that was a headshot of every president, uh, I'm going to do those with comics or with
do you,
slabs.
have you gotten the Barack Obama one? Like the straight up, just it's a Barack Obama comic. I think I
Barack
sent you a
the
picture.
Barbarian.
No, it's just Barack Obama, and it's about Barack Obama.
No.
When him and McCain both were running, they had a book about both of them, and I ended up grabbing the Barack Obama one. I'm still mad that I didn't get the McCain one, just because it's like I probably should have just gotten it to just have. I've got so many weird political books that I'll just try. I've got one that's like the Hillary versus Trump coloring book, because
Nice.
apparently I told my, like, it was around that election, and I went to my shop. I was like, if they have any like books specifically about the presidential candidates, can you buy those for me? And he was like, sure. And he was like, I bought this. I don't think this is what you want, so you don't have to buy it. And I was like, I'll just get it.
Oh, anytime you like, I don't want those, I will take them. Because
I
the book that my students and I like to make fun of, Ted Cruz in 2016 made a coloring book for his campaign that's
Oh,
called
nice.
C is for Conservative. So a lot of my more liberal students were like, "Can we have a picture of that page?" And they made it C is for other things that it could stand for in Ted Cruz's case.
What
And I
is it?
thought it
Z
was,
for Zodiac?
yeah.
But the one thing I wanted to tack on to that uh, Apache Delivery Services, I'm actually excited to read this book.
Oh, me
I've
too.
not read it yet. Like, and I mean, I don't know. Like, this is one of those books that I got so sad at the beginning, because it's like the world is going to know who Matt Kent is finally, and it's
Yeah.
because of this. But like right around issue 5 or 6, it started getting really good again. So I'm like
Mhm.
pretty pumped. I mean, it went from being a senseless action story to, hey, there's actually reason for this. And I'm guessing what happened is that Keanu Reeves kind of made the plot of the first volume, and they let Matt Kent kind of do more of the creative liberties in the second two, and hopefully, because I'm getting the hardcovers for those because I bought those on Kickstarter.
No, I didn't know that. Yeah, Jose, you might have missed Cole. That's where Cole started with the second book, was number 2. Uh, and I was the only one who read it the week it came out with Jelly and J1. And I was like, y'all should read this. And then you all should go pick up King of Nowhere, because Hillary Jenkins is absolutely insane on that one. And then you should look at Hillary Jenkins' Instagram. Hillary Jenkins might be my favorite comic book person on Instagram, because
She
she'll
does
do
the art. Yeah.
like she'll do naturescapes, and it's like, okay, here's the picture of the naturescape, and then she'll do a second picture that's her holding like a watercolor or an oil painting in front of it, and it's just picture perfect. And I like the team up on that, and I like the wit of this Vietnam story, that yeah, there's senseless violence in this Vietnam story and they're hunting for Nazi gold, but then it also has Matt Kent's like black humor in it that I think works really, really well for him. And every time I talk about Matt Kent in pull list videos, that's one of the times I have to drop the phrase, my buddy Cole from Comic Burrito and Cole's Comic Claims, because Cole got me hooked to Matt Kent. And I think I found a mind management slab, and then you sent me the soft cover Omni.
You sent me 2 mind management slabs.
I robbed somebody for those.
Yeah, 1 and 2. And the 1 has a remark on it. It's the only thing that was a bummer of it is that I think the slab was cracked, and I think you said you looked back at the pictures and you said you saw that the slab was cracked. But like, 1, it's going to be in my personal collection, so I really don't care. But like, the only thing is, it's like, because I'm thinking about getting a CGC account, just because there's a few books that I want to like I have a Clone Wars 1, and I just want to get that pressed, and I want to sell it, because if I can sell a Clone Wars 1, I can probably get another key that I care about way more than that. But yeah, if I did that, I would probably just send it in to get recased.
No, that's fair.
But yeah, I mean, oh, and crap, I don't know. Oh, the same creative team, they did Fear Case.
Oh yeah, Fear Case was good. Jose, I don't know what that is. I know you're in the Discord with this. Drop a link to that book, like just an Amazon or a publisher's description or something of that book, so I don't forget. Because Peter Panzerfaust sounds dope, because I'm wondering if it's Peter Pan plus tanks plus the story of like Dr. Faustus of
that's definitely what it looks like.
Oh hell yeah.
The cover is just a bunch of dudes with, I think that's an Italian flag on like a Jeep. I'll just drop the link in your Discord real quick.
Oh, well, and here's another reason. So Cole and I might be one of the best case scenarios of a comic book bromance, because Cole knew I was sad that none of the shops around me could get Bad Idea because of how reliant they were on Diamond. And Cole is like, here, I read these, I'm done with them. Here's a whole bunch of them.
No, I straight up set up another pull list at a different shop. Oh. Just because I knew you wanted them and you've given me so many AOKs, I figured it was a fair trade-off.
Yeah, but like, there's a video where Cole gave me a deal on If Something Is Killing the Children, the hardcover. And when I was in Michigan and I was good and drunk and I was happy to see my good friend for the first time ever, I was like, I will give you my Saga first print #1 that I got all of them for $200. And he was like, and I will send you my 5th print, so you still have #1. So Cole and I are a good example of, I got this. You have something that, like, we each know that we have things that the other one likes better, and we're like, yeah, we'll swap it, because we know that Cole's not going to turn around and be like, haha, here's my 9.8 Saga #1 for $3,000. Fuck off.
Enjoy. Yeah, I mean, and that's a book that it'll never leave my, like, that's the thing. I've kind of like started to whittle down my collection a little bit more, but that's like a book that no matter what, like,
yeah,
and unless, like, I don't know. I think even if I sold everything in my collection, that's probably a book that I would still keep.
Yeah, because if you all don't know this about Cole, Cole's daughter is named Hazel. Because Saga. There might be some other relevance to it, but I'll always just simplify it to because Saga.
It was a sneaky Saga insert.
When my big box to you comes, I want you to film it. I don't care if you put it on your YouTube channel, because it's your Royal City, your mystery box, and then your random Discord win of the Saga figure that I showed you. I want to see your reaction based on what I picked to send you.
Okay, dokie.
So even if it's just like joy porn for me,
then, I mean, I'll probably put it up there, because I think there's the boxes in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably just film that because of that.
There you go. Let's see.
I'm
Well,
excited for you to see. I also ran out of I needed stuff to pack your bag. I mean, your box. So there's so many Myers plastic bags in there, just because they're all in Gemini's anyway in a
nice.
box. But I was just like, it doesn't need bubble wrap. You can just use this. It just needs something so they're not sliding around. So
Good
our
night,
collection of
David.
bags is now half the size it was.
Yes, that Deadpool's is right. You should call it joy porn for Poser.
Joy proposer.
That's kind of what I did with yours because I packed everything into. So I picked up a set of Parks and Rec pops from Big Apple Collectibles. So it was this big, and it was the size, the right thickness to put an action figure in. It was like, okay, I put things in it, and then there's still 6 inches of emptiness on the top, and I was like, uh-oh. So I just grabbed all of my leftover little bits of bubble wrap and was like, hopefully this is okay that it doesn't get wet too much. All right. In terms of the second book that I want to talk about after that multi-chapter aside, I very quickly want to mention Silver Surfer Rebirth #2. I'm going to guess that we get into this book more next week when J1 is able to make it back on.
Should I read that?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't love the first issue.
This one says, hold
but
my
I bought
beer.
that cover.
Yeah, I figured
For
you
obvious
would. That's why
reason.
I showed this one off. But you find out why he and Thanos have to work together. If you're not familiar with how the role that Thanos played in the Infinity Watch is different from the Thanos we see in the MCU, it gives you a good 2-page here's why Thanos is not the evil pile of shit that we think he is. But it gets real good in the last 6 pages. Hey, Aussie Pop and Paul. Good day to you as well. But the other book that I want to talk about this week is House of Slaughter #5. This has been slowly building throughout that I've enjoyed the premise of this book in terms of focusing on Jace and Aaron. So this is Jace who you find out came from a different house in the Order of St. George from New Orleans. This is Aaron who makes a couple of appearances and Something is Killing the Children, but he's a white mask for the House of Slaughter, right? The same house that Erica Slaughter is from, in Something is Killing the Children. And you know that at some point in the past, these two had a relationship. And at some point in the past, there was just a non-amicable split between the two of them. And you find out at the end of issue #5 that the reason Jace goes from his house in New Orleans to transfer to the House of Slaughter in Chicago, is because the House of Slaughter is the reason his parents are dead, that his whole family was monster hunters, but there was an orchestrated hit against him or his family, and his goal is to go basically kill the dragon, who I want to say it's the Grand Dragon, but I know that's the head of the KKK. But I also think the Grand Dragon is the name of whoever heads each house in the Order of St. George. But this one, you finally get some resolution to why Aaron, is Aaron successful is Jace successful or not in taking the leader of the House of Slaughter down. You find out whether or not Aaron is going to kind of give in to those romantic feelings which have resurfaced. And you get another little bit of thread of deception spread throughout. So even though James Tynion is the lead credit on this, right? He's the lead credit because he conceptualized this world. Tate Bromble is the one who has been writing House of Slaughter. And with each issue, it makes me want to investigate more things that have been written by him, right?
Yeah, he wrote Barbalian, which is the Black Hammer tie-in, which is a very similar story.
Oh, then I definitely need to check that out. And it sounds like old Marshall is getting pretty fussy there.
I just changed his diaper, so he's not happy with that. He's like, Dad, I wanted that poop on my butt.
I can relate. But I still have
and you could probably read Barbalian without knowing Black Hammer.
Without knowing Black Hammer?
It's a pre-story.
Well, and I know that there was one of the three of you when Barbalian came out that was behind, like not all the way finished with Black Hammer, and was like, no, I think I can catch what's going on.
Yeah, it was Nick.
Okay.
Probably.
But like, I've enjoyed everything that I've read this week, but here's the difference between last week's pull list and this week's pull list. Like, I still have like 20 books to read tomorrow. So
yeah, this week was huge for me too. I know that I've been one of the guys in the Mixed Collectors, like his shop stopped being a shop. So I started pulling books for him too. And he had a big list too. It just seemed like it was a big list for everyone. But also with Marvel, you had a lot of those Marvel books get delayed.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think was Silk. Did you get Silk this week or was Silk last week?
Silk was this week.
Okay, because I got it this week, but my shop owner was like, I don't know if you picked this one up or not. And that was the only Marvel book he asked me about.
Yeah, so. Silk was this week. I also read Telepaths, but I don't know where I put that cover. The end of Telepaths.
I don't even know if I got that.
Oh. Two things. So fucking good.
Well, no, I've been reading Telepaths. I don't know if I got that issue.
But this issue, so good. And this is what now the third AWA title that has been guaranteed for a second arc. Because we get a straight up to be continued.
Oh. Yeah, and they just released that what was the trucker book?
Oh yeah, Devil's Highway.
Yeah, they made it seem like that, but they just said that it's actually coming out.
Yeah,
second trade. So yeah, because it would be what? Well, no, this would be the fourth book.
Because you had Resistance,
Devil's Highway. Oh, fifth, because Hotel. Year Zero.
Oh, and yeah, I forgot about Year Zero. I like that.
It's good, but it's weak.
Both of them were the exact same volume.
Yeah, they could have been like. I mean, that's the thing. You kind of it's just different characters. You can't really change it. Yeah. I mean, unless you kept going on with them, but yeah. Yeah, went from a bunker guy to Walmart lady.
Pregnant Walmart lady.
Yeah, well, dude, you don't find out she's pregnant until like the second issue.
Spooky, I did. Did you read Step by Bloody Step?
I did not because I ordered it from Gmart. So I've moved some of my stuff to get from Gmart, and that was one of the books I did that with. But I'll probably read the digital copy because I think is there any dialogue in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Little bits.
Well, the synopsis is that like there's a silent relationship between the robot and the girl because they can't speak to each other. So my assumption was that it was gonna be a silent issue.
I think there's some crosstalk because that might have been the other thing that I read, but I think I left it on my desk at school.
I mean, I can probably read the review copy of it.
Yep. I think there was some.
That was one of the ones where I was gonna maybe even check if it was on Hoopla. Just waste a credit because it's pretty much the end of the month and I haven't used any. But so I just like reading it on Hoopla rather than a PDF.
So by I mean there might be like 6 speech bubbles.
Okie dokie. So it's similar to that issue. Did you read all of Haha or not?
Yeah.
Did you read the mime issue?
Yeah.
Right, similar to that.
I had to because the mime's name was Remy.
Oh, I forgot about that.
But like it's like in House and Powers when the X-Men were speaking in Krakoan, and it's just all those random symbols.
Oh.
That it's that. But the art was pretty cool, and that could be something definitely worth diving into.
Yeah, and I mean, Cy Spurrier is one of those guys for me that like I don't like all the stuff that he does, but when he does something I like, it's very good. Like Alienated is a very good example of a book that he wrote that I really much enjoy. But then I've read some other stuff like that thing that he did with Vault. I didn't love that first issue. The Rush, maybe.
Oh, The Rush has gotten good.
Yeah, the first issue was just kind of one of those issues where it's like it kind of ended as a like I'm either gonna really like this or really hate this, and I'm at the point of my reading that I don't. If that's a reaction that I have, I will just wait until the trade comes out. Like I
Yeah,
did that
I
with
think
Seven Secrets. After reading the first issue of Seven Secrets, I'm like, I'm gonna hate reading this. I should trade weight this, and I
I think
read the
you will
trade.
enjoy it in trade because it just got real good. Like issue 4 came out this week, and I went, "Oh, hello." But yeah, and I like Cy Spurrier kind of going conceptual. Like I thought Alienated was a cool book to read, and it was interesting when it and like Finger Guns were out at the same time, that you basically had two stories dealing with different waves of like relatable teenage angst and emotion with two different vehicles that became two cool stories about mental health, especially in Alienated with the relationship to the alien.
Yeah, my favorite was when Alienated issue 3, I think, came out. I was like, we were all like, we need like a nice happy teen book, and you're like, you should get Finger Guns. And then like the next issue of Finger Guns was like the saddest issue of Finger Guns.
Oh yeah, because it was like, my dad is emotionally fucking abusive, and we're not fucking with mall cops anymore by going pew pew. And it was like, oops.
Yeah, guys, you should read this. It's really lighthearted and it'll
Yeah,
make you
and
all
then
happy.
Justin Richardson was like, let me show you the skeletons in my closet.
Thanks.
All right. I'm trying to think about if there's anything else we need to talk about. I will let you plug what you got going on Saturday night, because
we
I
got
believe the fiscal year is over.
the fiscal year is over. So if I am on a show called the Golden Burritos, the Comic Burrito, and if you follow us on the YouTubes, this Saturday at 10 p.m. we are doing our Golden Burrito Award show, which we talk about our favorite things that came out this year. Well, technically last year, but we do it on in February because we started on February 13th, and that was just something that we did so that we wouldn't be around when everyone else is doing awards. We could do it at our own pace and at our own time.
And I like that it's the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah.
Because if you have not watched a Comic Burrito stream ever, especially the early ones where it was like 6 hours of the 3 guys in the stream and then like 4 of us in the chat who were up drinking as well.
And then eventually you just started coming on.
Yeah. But I'm excited to see that shake its way out. And I think the giveaway bot should be done
in 20 minutes.
Oh, in 20 minutes. Whoops.
Unless you can make it end sooner. Well, hey, make sure you join the Discord. Well, you had to be part of it to figure out if you win.
Well, yeah,
hey, if you're here and you're not part of the Discord, make sure you join it so you can enter yourself.
That I will admit that it's not the most active place in the world. That's something that I'm slowly trying to change a little bit, but I know that, you know, as people are becoming part of more and more Discords, like, I know I will walk away from my computer and my phone for an hour and come back and it'll be like, you have 750,000 missed Discord messages.
Yep.
So I like using Discord as a way of like some engagement of like, we can talk about stuff as it pops up there. I know Cole and I both love to play dumb Discord games. So if we're not active at the same time,
Wordle.
we can spam the shit out of one of those. But I like doing these random invites or random giveaways in the Discord that There are 2 winners. Right now we got 13 entries. That I think is going to be maybe the second most entries of something. But I really like the idea of Sunday night movie nights. That when we were doing auctions on a Sunday, it was just real hard for me to be amped up for an auction and then get ramped up for work to turn around on Monday on do that. So I like the idea of we're showing movies that we've all probably seen. If you want to attentively sit there and watch it, you can. But we were sitting there during Captain America and we would point out little things here or there to make fun of it. But we also were like, ooh, I've not noticed this before. Or people would give takes to think about it in a new light. So I like the idea of, in the same way we can sit around and talk shit about comics, we can do the same thing and sit around and talk shit about movies. And in the announcements channel in the Discord, and Scott, thank you for joining us in the Discord. If you go down to the movie night channel under live stream interactions, you can hit -- and type in a movie, and it will pull up an IMDb link and be like, you mean this movie? And you can use that to add things. And then as we get going, we're going to vote on what our community pick is. And some people have put in like some legitimate, suggestions, like Oddball added the new Suicide Squad. David added RoboCop, which RoboCop is an objectively good and terrible movie at the same time. Like, if they could make the original RoboCop with today's CGI, it'd be super dope. But they tried to remake RoboCop with today's CGI, and it was awful. Or you can add awful movies for us to roast, like Cole has added 1989's Return of the Swamp Thing.
No, I don't think I actually added it, though. I don't think it got added because somebody else added. Oh, it did? Cool.
Or Sky High, which...
I didn't have that.
Huh? Oh, no, that was David. Yeah. Super Mario Brothers was Cole.
So here's a really good recommendation, though. When we do Age of Ultron, we have to follow it up with The Lawnmower Man. Because those are loosely the same movie.
Yeah, fair. I like that. But I like how in this, like a lot of us have said multiple times, the best thing to come out of all of this COVID shit is that we found new ways to build bridges across time zones, across states, across different communities of collectors and things like that. Like, most of the people who are like channel members or patrons that are more Funko Pop oriented people were like, I don't want to be in your Discord. And then once that first movie night got posted, they were like, oh shit, I want to talk shit on movies. So I like that we can find more ways to cross the streams and shoot the shit, especially in a stress-free way on a Sunday night. Because, 7 o'clock, I'm getting my kids to bed. 8 o'clock, Cole is getting ready for, daddy duty with Marshall. So now, in addition to horror movies on Monday through Saturday, then we can educate his almost 4-month-old with a proper schooling in superhero and any other kinds of films. So that's really how I want to use the Discord, in terms of just finding random interactions like that and not feeling like, oh, I missed somebody mentioned me in a conversation 3 hours ago and I have to wade through 700 messages to find it.
You're welcome for that, by the way.
Yeah. But like I'm in a couple of these like NFT Discords.
Oh yeah, those are the worst.
That's what happens, and it's like I can't be on my computer all day, and if I can, like, it's shit that's blocked at school, or I can't do that. So
yeah, I will say the thing I really liked about the movie night was that with the Marvel movie, we all like respectfully used texting, like text chat so that we like technically didn't really like ruin it. But then once we started watching Toxic Avenger, I was like, all right, just whatever. You can just say whatever you want.
Yeah. And I like that people dipped in and out. I like the other thing that I think we can do with this bot is there's an app called Plex, which I'm not 100% sure how Plex is fully legal.
It isn't technically. Well, technically it is. But so like if I'm using Plex, right? I have a computer at my house. I put all of my movies that I own on this Plex server so that when I'm out of my house, I can then stream into it and watch it. So like technically it's the way that it's legal is that you should own the media that you have on it. Most people that use Plex probably don't own the media that's on it.
But the other piece of it that baffles me with Plex is in the world. Oh, are you going live in a bit, Scott? Y'all should follow Scott on Whatnot, and maybe we'll end this to hop in on the back or the front end of Scott's Whatnot auction because
what's his username? I might already be following him.
I think it's Scott Sidwell Comics. I think it matches the same there. And if not, Scott, before you fully dip out, let me hop on the stream on this computer and I'll wrench you really fast so you can drop your Whatnot link. That way, if we're not following you, we can. Oh, Scotty said in 15 minutes, but you got your wrench there, brother. Drop the link. But Scott put up straight heat last night. And I think I've sold Scott a couple of things, and he's like, you can build me a box. And I was like, oh, Scott got a pretty interesting book for me. Scott's one of those people like,
oh man, I want these mouse pads.
What he put up last night, I was like, I sell absolute shit based on what Scott has. Yeah, and Deadpool's got some mystery boxes. So check him out. He's trying to get some money so he can go to his brother's funeral. Like I said, I will, once my Whatnot funds have moved into my PayPal.
How long did that take, by the way?
So since I've got so if you are a new seller, it is 48 hours after it's been delivered.
Okay. I just noticed that some of my stuff delivered today.
Yeah. Once you clear 1,000 sales, if you maintain a rating over 4.9, then you can immediately withdraw. The weird thing is, though, like, you can't partially withdraw. Like, it's either all or nothing. So it's like...
Oh, that's kind of funky.
Yeah. So, like, I ended my auction with a negative balance because I did 3 giveaways, and it was like, okay, here's your shipping charge. And it's like, if I want to leave that in, so I know I'm going to have this many giveaways, and that way I can more easily track, like, the true profit from an auction. Like, that's the thing that's strange. But I like that they've done that. Because they know, especially with some of the big money movers, like these people are spending 10 grand on a box of first edition Pokemon cards that they'll sell for, $2,500 a pack and need that money faster to do those things. So I like that it's a bit more instantaneous once you've been vetted in terms of number of sales or that you're not a full piece of shit.
Yeah, man, I wish you were getting your box sooner. I want to see what you think of like all the other boxes that you got, because I think that you got like the worst box and the best box.
Nice.
Just to see like the difference. I mean, granted, I made very low stakes box, so I feel like if you get upset that you bought an $18 mystery box and it has like...
Well, and I feel like I stacked the deck a little bit because I think the one thing that I was hoping for was the lethal protectors, because I needed
that one.
What? I know, because you ripped that one.
Yeah.
But I figured buying half of them, where I was like, I need to make sure I can buy things from Cole if I dip out, since you've had the I drunkenly bought these Funko Pops on my anniversary, you know, moments. It's like I gotta make sure I work backwards.
Yeah, and I don't know, it's fun. It's interesting. I think a lot of people like are upset that you can't just like you're obviously I don't know, until you get a super big following, you're not going to be selling books for the prices that you can sell them on eBay for. And I
Yeah.
think that's what people don't understand. But I think using giveaways and being able to promote stuff, especially the way the giveaways work now, where you can make it so that they have to follow you to enter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I gained in my first stream 50 followers
Yeah.
just by doing 3 giveaways.
Well, and
I
I
mean,
think I
granted, I
picked up a
promoted
good,
the hell out of it, but
and you did it the right way. Where I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna do a giveaway. Like, I want to hope that the people who have been there all night are the ones that win something. But it's really hard to like do that and run like a wheel where you can ensure those things when you're a one person operation.
yeah, the one thing
But
I saw other people doing is that, and this might be something I might try out my next time around, is that if I do a slab giveaway, I might say that every purchase over $5 gets you an entry. So I'll just write your name and throw it in a box. And then at
yeah,
the end, I'll just pull a name out of the box. The reason that I think that would work good is that, you know, when you have these books that people are paying $2 on,
yeah,
there's a good chance that somebody is willing to add. Like, if I know that I can get a slab that I want, I'm going to add $3 to ensure that I can get at least one entry in there, you know?
yeah. Well, I think that's true, especially with like you and I both have bigger books, or like I felt bad watching Harsha's last auction where he had massive DC keys
Yeah.
and he didn't have the audience for it. And it was like, he's smart enough to not let a book go for way more than or way less than he wants to.
Yeah.
But I think there are other people who are going the dollar route, and that like I saw a post today because I was looking for like here's the PNG file of the Whatnot logo,
Oh, yeah.
and they were like, you need to think of your minimum starting price as your reserve price.
Yep.
And you and I have both said the same thing. Like, I got this book. I'm gonna let it go for $1. If it goes for $1, I'm not gonna be heartbroken.
Yeah. Well, and like
And
that was the thing. I put that second appearance in the Silver Age of Catwoman up. And I said I put it up for $15. I paid $22, I think,
yeah,
for it. But I was like, hey, I've had a pretty good chat. Like, if I let this go for little less than what I paid for, or less than what I paid for it, at least at this point, it might bring somebody back.
yeah. And I think that's the other thing too, right? Is thinking about some of that stuff as, you know, good ways to build that audience, right? Because in the same way that we've talked about how on a YouTube auction, you live and die by chat support, like there are nights where I won't necessarily say the chat is there to shill bid, but there are people in the chat who are there to bid to, or who are willing to pay a price for a book and take a book to make sure that it goes for a fairer value for people who are starting off things low.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, there were places on eBay where, you know, you have people that are straight up shill bidding to shoot the bots way up and that kind of stuff. My Whatnot auction is still going on.
Oh, you might have not closed it, maybe?
I hit end
That's what I
stream.
was super worried about when I did my first one.
Well, has anybody bought things since I didn't end my auction?
I don't know.
Oh, you
Oh,
can see
yeah.
me now.
Hey there.
I hit end
Oh,
stream.
we got another DC mystery pile giveaway.
Shit, I'll do that.
The only thing that I would like to do that I definitely can't do is that like
Keith, are you my one entry now? Oh, there are two.
no,
Cole and
me.
Keith.
Yeah. The one thing that I hate about I would want to put me streaming on YouTube because I think it would be like interesting to have people watch it, and you can't hear yourself or know how it even went after the fact, right?
So I think Very Gary did that the other day.
But if you stream the music,
Yeah. But I've seen him do it from a technical end, and I've seen people on Whatnot who are
I
hopping
think
in.
Comic Man Andy does it too.
Keith has told me that I didn't apparently hit end auction, so if you want to get something for free, then pop in. And you
Hey,
can
dude,
say hi on
23.
Shop Talk.
Hi, Shop Talk.
All right, here we go.
3 entries, so I've got a 33% chance to win that.
Go wins!
Do I really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Nah, that was way delayed on my end. But
So
this
yeah,
was
hit
fun.
end stream, but now it's still showing that it's live.
The show has ended. At least that's what it says for me. Nope. There you are again. There's your weird face. Get him. But it's weird because I
now
also
it's all
see,
the way gone.
Okay, because it's weird. There's another guy, Just Joking Comics. His still shows live, so it might be a weird Whatnot thing. I know the other day I saw people saying that they couldn't like add stuff for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Thank you, Keith. I'm sorry that you didn't win and Cole did.
You're welcome, Keith.
I picked up some fun things from Keith last night too.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think I know that I've definitely I think the one thing that people don't realize either with Whatnot is that if you sell something for $1, somebody now paid $1 for that book, but they paid $4 for shipping.
Yeah.
But now they only have to pay $1 for shipping.
Oh, we got 2 minutes left on the Discord giveaway. If you want to join the Discord, you got 2 minutes.
We might as well stay and announce that, right?
2 things.
But yeah, if you say if you wait around, right, or if somebody buys that one book but they pay the shipping, they're more likely to rebuy. At least I personally am more likely to rebuy because now you have cheaper shipping. Because that's what I said to Nick. I was like, this guy had books that I wanted, because I was like, I'll sell you this book for $15 because I literally paid $14.37 for it.
Yeah.
But I was like, I got it for $10. I knew that shipping would be $4, and there was 5 more books that I wanted. I was like, Nick loosely said, I will buy any Ice Cream Man cover I don't have for $15.
I want to see you selling that book to Nick for $15 while waving at me and flipping me off like, ha.
Well, it's funny because I told him that he should probably just get on here, but that's a hard thing. Once you get on, you're opening a can of worms, right?
Yeah.
Because you loosely have every dollar bin in the world in your pocket, right?
Yeah. Oh, Keith is in. Keith, you got to go fast.
Oh, yeah, you got loosely a minute.
See, we vamped until the giveaway happened so we could sing some songs. Sold twice. I'm waiting for my money to transfer so I can finally pay you for that last hoo-ha thing. And you should be getting your mystery box soon.
Deadpool won again.
And you.
Wait, double winners?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that.
Fucking Deadpool. Well, here's the good thing about that. And here's Poser's tip. If you sell things on Whatnot, other Deadpool, you sell things on Whatnot, and then you give shit away or sell things on YouTube, you can just adjust your shipping. So Cole bought Royal City #1 for me for $1. So for that $5.50 transaction, Cole let me rob him of a couple of bucks on his mystery box shipping, and send him his.
You don't get dinged for that ever, right?
No. And they're like,
that
you
was
shouldn't
like,
use media mailboxes. Or the priority mail. You need to wrap it in paper and shit like that. The number of things that I've gotten in priority mailboxes, it's like, huh?
yeah. Well, the weirdest thing was, yeah, I remember that one of the first things I bought on Whatnot was from Nick's Kicks and Comics, and he sold me. I bought like 5 books from him, or 3 books from him, and I paid a total of $15. And he sent it in a medium flat rate box. And I
Yeah.
was just like, I just immediately IM'd him on like IG, and I was like, dude, that costs $15 to ship in that box. Like, did you get like did I rob you on shipping or something that I don't know about? He's like, no, it's all in the system.
Yeah.
You're good. He's like, I mean, like, you robbed me on some books, but like, you're good.
Yeah,
I was like,
your
okay.
shipping label printed off and said your package weighed 11 ounces.
Yeah.
That box is easily 2 feet tall.
Yeah, or like I mean, that's the thing with yours. I was getting kind of scared too, but I mean, yours is it's at least at 16 pounds. They can't be like, oh, this box is actually 7. Well, and the hard thing about it that just gets really weird is too when it's just one comic is the default thing, right? Like, do they actually just, I don't know.
I think it puts it at like the max 7.
Yeah, but no, it puts it at 8 actually.
Oh.
And like, it's weird too because I noticed for my mystery boxes, I put them at 1 to 2 pounds. And it auto put them all at 1.5 on the labels.
Keith, I think the answer to that is no. And I did that because I created a shipping profile called Gemini Mailer. And it had the dimensions of a Gemini. And I had it at 1 pound. But, oh yeah, hell yeah, do that, Soul Twice. We'll definitely take sneak peeks of your raffle. That you all should definitely follow Soul Twice. That as much as I love his chibi style of art, you're seeing him pull out some more tools from the toolbox. And I've got some Soul Twice art on my wall. I've got some waffle winnings that I went from winning like 0-6 to winning like 3 out of 4. But is it bad? No, we're going to scam the system and we'll milk the card people who make them more money on their transaction fees than we do. Nice.
What's delivery do? That mean you had to pay more money on it?
I think so.
How does that happen?
That somewhere the like an option got clicked on, because you can control some of your shipping options a little bit, but you've got to dive a little bit more in. Oh, but if they weight it, everything says that it's supposed to be charged back to the Whatnot, like their Shippo account. So
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. While I may not be that fussy outwardly, I'm getting fussy like Marshall in my head. So definitely sub up Fart Daddy. Cole's Comic Claims. Tomorrow we will see his most anticipated comics for next week. Correct?
You tomorrow or Saturday at some point.
Oh.
Usually I put it out on Friday, but it might be a busy day, so I might not have time.
And if somebody comments on all of yours in a month, they're eligible to win something.
Yeah, right? But the next video will be when the thing's going. So if you haven't, you should just go and comment on all of those 4 videos for this month, because the giveaway will be in tomorrow's video.
There you go. And Cole is good random unboxing to watch, because unlike me, he's constantly changing up things in his background, that books and art and things like that are changing. And he will randomly give things away where he's like, I'm unboxing this here, you can have it.
Yeah, it was mostly just, here's a bunch of books that I have sitting in a pile that I probably can't sell for money on Whatnot, but you can read them or try and sell them yourself.
So for some reason, I got logged out on this computer on Discord, and I literally think everybody who's on the stream right now is in our Discord. But I will repost the shit out of that tomorrow morning. That I'll just push buttons and make it go. But sub up Cole, you'll see his most anticipated comic soon. You will see on Saturday night the Golden Burritos, the end of fiscal year 2021. I will be there drunk and taking my shirt off in the chat. Does Marshall have a Whatnot account? Spooky, you can buy his poopy diapers.
Yeah. He's got poopy diapers and Pokemon cards, but he doesn't actually have Pokemon cards.
There you go.
I technically have one that I got, but it's written on.
I'll send you another one.
I won a giveaway from Last Ketchum, and she sends energy cards that say thank you on them.
Keith, I don't know how that happened, but I just closed YouTube on my other computer, so I'll fix it tomorrow. Just DM me and go, give me my goddamn wrench back, and I'll go, okay.
Giggity.
But yeah, tomorrow, I can't remember if it is Ainsley and I doing a Funko Pop battle or if it's Box Heroes versus Comic Tom who won.
No, I would assume Comic Tom won.
It's one of those two. I didn't do values. I talked about the potential value in both of them and where I saw potential resale value. And you will be like, I sat in your Whatnot auction for 90 minutes. I know what some of these sold for. Here's who won. So that's what you'll see. And then don't forget Sunday night movie night. We're going to start at 7 o'clock Central. We're going to make sure that if Jelly gets called into work, both he or I are able to make it work. So here, if after this second one, I talk to Cole or I reach out to Todd to figure out how to make a Plex server illegally work for Discord, then it might be hey, you need to install this one more thing so we can share stuff. But that's the direction we're going for now. Cole, I appreciate you popping in. Hey, Marshall, buddy. I appreciate you popping in. Good night, buddy.
He says good night. He said good night.
Night.
He said maybe I'll eat soon.
All right.
Well, guess he probably can. It's coming the time. Sorry.
Fair. Well, as always, y'all, thanks for stopping by. Have a good one.